Hello students and welcome to our algebra lesson today. We have a new skill today. We're going to be dividing polynomials by binomials. But first we'll respond to the do now about the day of silence. Our essential question: what are the steps for dividing a polynomial by a binomial? And for our assignment, I want you to complete the do now, 2 pages of work, the exit ticket, and if you're a distance learner, please submit your work on Teams. If you are in person, show me your work in class. For homework, you have homework 12, dividing a polynomial by a binomial, and let's be mindful that Wednesday we do have our unit test. So our exit ticket, I want you to be mindful also of what's coming up. We've got a challenge problem today, and I want you to add the answer to the challenge problem to the address for our school. So 2 pieces of information you're going to have to figure out today. Today is a day of silence that focuses attention on the effects of bullying and harassment of LGBTQ students. And my question to you is, why is silence an effective tool? What does silence accomplish? And I'd love you to talk about that right here. So let's get started with our lesson. I hope you spend a few more minutes on that. So we are going to divide a polynomial by a binomial, and we're going to use factoring. As I told you, factoring is going to play heavily into our work for the next few weeks and through the rest of the term. So we're going to follow some steps. Step 1, we factor the numerator and the denominator. So let's factor x squared plus 7x minus 8. We need 2 numbers. They will be positive and negative that add to 7 and multiply to 8, and that can only be a positive 8 and a negative 1. So we will factor that into x plus 8, x minus 1, and the denominator is already factored, x minus 1. We can put that in parentheses if we like. So that's the first step. The second step is to cancel any common factors. So here we have x minus 1 as a common factor. And then for step 3, that remaining factor, in this case x plus 8, is the answer. So as long as you've got your factoring down, this is pretty simple, I think. So let's do a few together. We have x squared minus 10x plus 21 divided by x minus 7. So when we factor the numerator, we need 2 numbers that add to negative 10 and multiply to positive 21. And those 2 numbers would be a negative 7 and a negative 3. So that would be x minus 7, x minus 3 divided by x minus 7. And when we cancel out any common factors, we have an answer of x minus 3. Okay, number 2, we need to factor m squared minus 4m minus 45. We need 2 numbers that add to negative 4 and multiply to negative 45. So this is going to be a negative and a positive. So we have negative 9, and a positive 5 will work. So that will give us m minus 9 and m plus 5 being divided by m minus 9. And we cancel out the common factors, and we are left with m plus 5. So I think you can see that one of the things you want to look for as you do this factoring is can you find something that mimics, it is the same as the denominator. So let's look at number 3. Is a little bit different. We have y squared minus 25, a difference of squares. So that would be y plus 5, y minus 5, divided by y plus 5. And can we cancel? Yes, we can, which leaves us with y minus 5 as our solution. So we've got 2r squared plus 16r. Well, first thing we want to do with that is find the cancel out a greatest common factor of 2r, which would leave us with r plus 8 being divided by r plus 8. So here we can cancel common factors and we're left with a solution of 2r. So try the next 4 on your own and let's see how you do, and come back to the video and let's see how successful you were with these. Okay, so I hope you tried them on your own. For number 5 is one of those slip and slides. 2n squared plus 5n minus 12. So we have n squared plus 5n minus 24. We need numbers that multiply. You know what? I don't even want to do it that way. We can factor this one. No, it's a slip and slide. It's a slip and slide, and when we are done and it's reduced, let's do it again. 2n squared plus 5n minus 12. Okay, so n squared plus 5n minus 24. Okay, we need two numbers, and they're going to be positive and negative, that multiply to 24 and add to 5. So that would be 8 and 3. And the 8 would be positive and the 3 would be negative. That's going to give us what we need. So n plus 8, n minus 3. Now we have to do the slide portion. 2, 2. So that would give us n plus 8 divided by 2 is 4. And we would have to slide the 2 up in front of the n, 2n minus 3. So let's put that over here. n plus 4, 2n minus 3 divided by 2n minus 3. Okay, that works for us. We have common factors we can cancel out with a solution of n plus 4. There we go. Took us a couple minutes to get there, but we did. Okay, in number 6, let's factor out of 5. So that would give us 3v plus 7, looking good. In the denominator, 3v plus 7. And when we cancel out the common factors, our answer is simply 5. Okay, number 7, we have a difference of squares. So this would be 4k plus 1, 4k minus 1, divided by 4k plus 1. And we cancel out common factors. And our final answer is 4k minus 1. And number 8, we need to factor number 8. We cannot take out a greatest common factor. So we're going to try slip and slide. So let's see. 3y squared minus 7y minus 6. Y squared minus 7y minus 18. We need two numbers that add to negative 7 and multiply to 18. So that would be 9 and 2. So negative 9 and a positive 2 would add up to negative 7 and multiply to negative 18. So y minus 9, y plus 2. Let's take our 3 and make our denominator. And when we simplify, we have y minus 3 and 3y plus 2. So let's write that down. Y minus 3, 3y minus 2 divided by y minus 3. And let's cancel out the common factors, which are the y minus 3. And our final answer is 3y minus 2. So how did you do? So let's do another group. Now these, all they've done is written them differently, okay? So this would be c squared plus 8c minus 33 divided by c minus 3. And when we factor this trinomial, we have two numbers that add to 8 and multiply to negative 33. So that would be a positive 8 and a positive 11 and a negative 3. So c minus 11 plus 11, and c minus 3 divided by c minus 3. And the c minus 3's cancel. Our final answer is c plus 11. In our next example, x squared minus y squared divided by x minus y. And I hope you see the difference of squares there. X plus y, x minus y divided by x minus y. And we're going to cancel the common factors, and our final answer, and we don't even really need to put parentheses here. Our final answer is x plus y. Okay, I hope you can try the next 6 on your own and then come back to the video. Okay, so I hope you tried these on your own. So number 11, what I would do with 4m squared minus 20m is I'd factor out the 4. So I'd have 4, and we can factor out an m as well. That would give us m minus 5. And that is being divided by m minus 5. And when we cancel out the factors, we're left with an answer of 4m. Number 12, let's factor out a 2. We cannot factor out a variable. So 2d squared minus 2d minus 35 divided by d plus 5. So we need to factor d squared minus 2d minus 35, which factors to 2 times, and that would be d minus 7d plus 5. And remember, look at your denominator as a clue when you do your factoring. It can help you along when you're figuring out those two numbers. So this should be, let me just fix this. This should be a minus 5 and that should be a plus 5. Sorry about this. Let me get this right. Get the green again. This should be a plus 5 and this should be a plus 5. That was my mistake. Okay, now we do our canceling. Cancel this, and our answer is all of this together. So it's 2 times the quantity of d minus 7, which is a fully factored answer. Okay, number 13. I think we'll use slip and slide on that one. So I'm going to do it over here. 4p squared minus 3p minus 10. So that would be p squared minus 3p minus 40, two numbers that add to negative 3 and multiply to negative 40. So we need a positive and a negative. 10 times 4 will work. So that would be a negative 10 and a positive 4. So that would be p minus 10, p plus 4. And let's put our denominator of 4 under there. I'm feeling like I'm making a mistake, but I guess I'm not, because I need to have a p minus 2. So you know what, I think this 4 is wrong. Let me just, because they have to add to 3, so I'm going to change my numbers. So p minus 3, 4 times 10 is 40. So I think we're going to go with 10, 7, 5, 8, and 5. That's what we need, 8 and 5. Okay, this should have been my clue, except it'll have to be after it's reduced. So negative 8, positive 5. Negative 8 times positive 5 is negative 40. Negative 8 plus 5 is negative 3. Much better. Okay. P minus 8, p plus 5. Let's make our denominators of 4. And on the left, we can simplify that to p minus 2. And on the right, the 4 slides up in front of the p, 4p plus 5. Now, let's write this out and start dividing by p minus 2. So we have p minus 2 times 4p plus 5 divided by p minus 2. Now, this is the easy part. We cancel the common factors, and we're left with 4p plus 5. And that's our final answer. Okay, number 14, 6n squared minus n minus 12. I've already factored this one ahead of time. This is going to be 3n plus 4 times 2n minus 3 divided by 3n plus 4. And let's factor out, or let's cancel the common factors, and then our answer is 2n minus 3. Okay, number 15, we're going to factor by grouping. So start right here. So we can pull an x squared and be left with x minus y. And here we can pull out a negative 6, and we'll have x minus y, which will give us x squared minus 6 times x minus y, and that is being divided here by x minus y. And then let's cancel the common factors, and what is left is x squared minus 6. And then we have another polynomial with 4 terms. So let's group it. We can pull out an a squared, which leaves us with a minus 3. And we can also pull out a positive 8, which leaves us with a minus 3. So when we rewrite this, it's a squared plus 8 times a plus 3, or I'm sorry, a minus 3. And that is divided by a squared plus 8. And let's cancel the common factors. And that leaves us with an answer of a minus 3. And okay, so now this next one is not as hard as it appears to be. A rectangle has an area of 12m squared minus 7m minus 10. If the width of the rectangle is 3m plus 2, write an expression to represent the length of the rectangle in simplest form. So area equals length times width. Okay, if we want to isolate the length, then what we need to do is divide both sides by the width, and then we will have length equals area times width. So let's use what they've given us, area times width. So our area is 12m squared minus 7m minus 10 divided by 3m plus 2. So let's factor the numerator. I think we'll have enough room to do this. We can't factor out anything, so it's going to be m squared minus 7m minus 120 and 12 times 10 times 5. Okay, I've got this. This is going to factor. Let me just this is going to factor to be 3m plus 2 times 4m minus 5. And I did not do a very good job writing that. Now, we divide it by 3m plus 2 and cancel the common factors. And then that means that the length of the rectangle in simplest form is 4m minus 5. Okay, our final one of the day. This is going to take a bit of room. I'm wondering if we have to completely simplify this. So I think we're going to need some more paper. So I'm going to copy the problem. This is the challenge problem. 2 times v minus 5, v plus 2, and that's one side. That's going to be one expression, minus v minus 2, and that whole quantity is squared, and we're dividing that by v plus 4. Okay, so let's start with the first expression. So if we take just v minus 5 and v plus 2, and we FOIL that, so we're going to have v times v squared, 2 times v is plus 2v, negative 5 times v for the inner, and negative 5 times positive 2, negative 10. Now we have this expression, and we're going to multiply that by the 2. So 2 times v squared plus 2v minus 5v minus 10 equals 2v squared minus 6v, because we can combine these two. So this would be negative 3v. So 2 times negative 3v, negative 6v minus 20. Okay, so that's the first part simplified. And from that, we have to subtract this. So v minus 2 squared equals v minus 2 times v minus 2. If we FOIL that, we have v squared minus 2v minus 2v minus 4, or plus 4. Negative times a negative is a positive. When we combine the middle, v squared minus 4v plus 4. So this comes down v squared minus 4v plus 4. Now, we are subtracting, and well, let's say all of that is divided by v plus 4. We'll get to that last. So we have to subtract, let me use the highlighter. We have to subtract this expression from this expression. So I'm going to write that one out. I'm going to change the color. So 2v squared minus 6v minus 20 minus v squared minus 4v plus 4. So remember, we're subtracting. All these interruptions, virtual interruptions. So, okay, remember, we're subtracting. So 2v squared minus v squared is v squared. We'll get to the denominator later. I can write it down, but we'll get to that later. Just working with the numerator. Negative 6v minus negative 4v, remember that's a not, so that's negative 6v plus 4v, which is a negative 2v. Negative 20 minus 4 is negative 24. And now we're dividing that by v plus 4. So we're just going to keep on simplifying and simplifying until we get to the end. Now we have to factor v squared minus 2v minus 24, which factors, we need two numbers that add to negative 2 and multiply to negative 24. So that would be negative 6 and a positive 4. So the numerator would be v minus 6 v plus 4, and that is divided by v plus 4, and we can cancel out the common factors for an answer of v minus 6. So that's why I needed a lot more room to do that problem. So that answer is v minus 6. I hope you paused the video at different points so that you could see how to handle that, because there's a lot going on there. And if you didn't catch this from here to here, go back and practice with slip and slide. So that's it for your challenge problem. I wanted you to get the answer for the challenge problem, which was negative 6, and add it to our school address, which I'll let you look that up yourself, and then you can tell me what that is. So great job. You've been working super hard on all the factoring. Remember, it takes practice. Please work on homework 11, or 12, excuse me, homework 12. There are 12 problems. I gave you some extracurricular activities there for fun. And you also have the solutions for last night's homework. So thank you for paying attention. Thank you for your hard work. And remember, with practice, you will be great.